like to call the Smithfield Town Council meeting Tuesday, February 18, 2025 to order. The regular meeting convened at 7 p.m. There were no votes taken during the executive session. At this time, I'd like to have a moment of silence for Mr. John Steer, who's a long-standing planning board member here who unfortunately passed away. Thank you. We come here today, Lord, to ask you for your guidance and wisdom and support as we begin this meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussions and allow us to grow closer as a group in nature and the boards and bounds of the community. Amen. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Emergency evacuation and health notification.
In the event of an emergency and the council chambers has to be evacuated, there's two exits, one to my right, and that leads to the side of the building. The other exit is out the rear doors, stairwells to the right, and that leads out to the front doorway. Ladies' room and men's room, if you go out the rear door, men's room to the right, ladies' room to the left, the stairwell. In the event of an emergency, do not use the elevator.
Thank you, Chief. Presentation, Smithfield High School Booster Club.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Amy Antunes, and I am president of the Smithfield High School Baseball Booster Club. And I'm here this evening just to thank everyone for their services that they have provided to us right now in getting our batting cages up and ready. So first, I want to thank you, Mr. Tassoni, for contracting the building trades who donated a total of $2,500 to our project. Durastone Corporation for donating concrete curbing, which has saved us over $4,000. Dave Preston from P&K Landscaping for using his lift to install the poles for the batting cage. Ralph Farrow and the DPW for supplying equipment and labor to installing concrete footings. They are not done, but we want to give them a thanks in advance. To our coaching staff, Jim Connell Sr., Jim Connell Jr., and Pete Marino for their endless help in installing the batting pole cages. We have more to do to become a Division I competitor along with the other Division I teams in town across the state. Our next step is to have a permanent fence in the outfield. We would like to have irrigation put in the outfield as well, and also a bullpen to be created. So on behalf of the Baseball Booster Club, I just wanted to come here and support my gratitude.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. Can you get me a price on what you want and what the cost would be?
For the fencing?
Fencing, water, sewer, whatever you're putting in there.
Well, we have, the irrigation would be donated. My husband works for an irrigation company, so he would be willing to donate the materials. My son has already, for his 2021 graduation project, did a study, like a layout of what the irrigation would cover. So it's just, from what I'm understanding, it's just a matter of who's going to pay the water bill. So I don't know where to go from there. As far as putting up the fencing, I'd have to get a couple of quotes from different fencing companies to come out and give us a quote on that.
And what about the bullpen? Will you need fencing for the bullpen also?
No, it's more just like the railroad ties to construct a bullpen area
Okay.
to update what we currently
If you
have.
can get me that, I greatly appreciate that.
Sure, no problem. I'll
Well,
do that.
thank you and good luck for
Thank you.
2025.
Thank you.
And Amy, thank you for doing what you do.
Oh, no problem.
Okay.
Happy to do it. Thank you.
Item number 6 on the agenda, move the minutes of the January 27th, 2025 work session meeting to be approved as recorded. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Item B, move the minutes of the February 4th, 2025 executive session meeting held pursuant to Rhode Island laws in section 42465A1, personnel interviews, the Andrew Token, Peter Conval, Abigail Peru, the possibility of appointment to board and commissions in section 4246(5)(A)(5), real estate, potential acquisition, lease, and real property to be approved as recorded and sealed. I'll entertain a motion. Do I have a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, nays, ayes have it. Item number C, move all the minutes of February 4th, 2025 open sessions meeting to be approved as recorded. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Number 7, consider, discuss, and act upon the following possible appointments and reappointments.
Mr. President, I move that we reappoint Edward Kuchmanich to serve as the tree warden for a term expiring in January of 2026.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Economic Development Commission appointed with the term expiring September 2025.
Motion to appoint Abigail Cataret to serve.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Zoning Board appointment with the term expiring May 2025.
Motion to appoint Peter Carnavale.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, nays, ayes have it. Historic Preservation Commission appointment with the term expiring February 2027.
Motion to appoint Andrew Tukin.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye, nays, ayes have it. Land Trust appointment with the term expiring September 2027.
Motion to appoint Susan Grennan.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, nays, ayes have it. Number 8, public hearings. A, Councilman Ionati.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a continuation of the public hearing on an amendment to the Code of Ordinances to add Chapter 283 to our Code of Ordinances entitled Seal of the Town. I move that we continue the public hearing until our meeting of March 18th.
Second.
Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. We're going a little bit out of order. We're going to take number C first. Schedule a public hearing on March 6, 2025 to consider and discuss and act upon an application of a tax stabilization agreement between the town of Smithfield and Organis Holdings Incorporated, Organis Inc., and Division Technology Way LLC.
Motion to schedule the public hearing.
Any discussion?
My only question was whether the agreement that will go out to the public in the packet at the time of the public hearing will be, will have the, any recommended revisions by the town solicitor in that agreement, in both our packet and what is available for the public to view.
It will be.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Number B, schedule a public hearing on March 6th to consider discussion and act upon an amendment of Chapter 321 of the Code of Ordinances entitled Taxation, Article 5 entitled Tax Agreements, codifying a potential tax stabilization agreement between the town of Smithfield and Organis Holdings, Inc., Organis Inc., and DIV Technology Way LLC. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to schedule the public hearing for March 6th.
Have a second. Any discussion?
I'd like to know what the benefit to the town is of having an agreement adopted as an ordinance when we already have an ordinance, and the ordinance that we already have, this agreement refers to, and is being adopted pursuant to that ordinance and pursuant to all the procedural requirements of that ordinance. So to me, it makes no sense to have the actual agreement be codified I don't see any benefit to the town to that, but does anyone have any? Do you, Anthony, Mr. Galone, have the?
So as far as the potential ordinance, that was a request, obviously, that the applicant made as part of their application process. All prior tax stabilization agreements that this town has had have predated the enactment of the tax stabilization ordinance. So now we have a tax stabilization ordinance, and this new application will be the first application to come before this council that would be vetted under this new ordinance. But the actual request was made by the applicant, and obviously the council could do it by resolution as well, should they choose to approve the actual application that was filed by Organogenesis. But Mr. Carnavale is here tonight if he wants to address that issue. That's fine. The issue on the agenda tonight is just to schedule a public hearing on the ordinance too, but you can probably provide them some insight as to why you want the agreement, should the council adopt the application and approve the application, why you want that agreement codified in the form of an ordinance.
Yes, so, good evening, council members. I'm Joe Carnavale. I represent Organogenesis Holdings, Inc. and Organogenesis, Inc. To the extent that by the time we reach final terms on the agreement, to the extent that there are any potential variances from the enabling ordinance, it's our position that it would be necessary to have an ordinance authorizing the subsequent agreement be codified. Plus, there's...
So you're saying that there might be things in the agreement that violate our existing ordinance?
I wouldn't say that it would be a violation of existing ordinance. I would say it would be a proposed amendment to the ordinance to the extent that the council would agree and pass and vote in favor of the request. So the reason for the ordinance is really twofold. The second reason that we contend it should be codified as an ordinance is that it restricts the ability to terminate the agreement somewhat. Because if we just have a regular run-of-the-mill agreement that's passed by the council, even as a resolution, it could essentially be freely terminated at some point down the road by a council 15 years from now that, for some reason, doesn't like the...
Well, the town council 15 years from now, or 10 years from now, or 2 years from now can change an ordinance too.
To the extent that there's an ordinance on the
And
books that's...
there's no provision in the agreement for the council to be able to terminate the agreement. The agreement is a contract, isn't it?
It is, and it's...
So if the agreement is a contract, how can the council terminate that? Yet, the council always has the authority to amend and terminate an ordinance.
But when there's an ordinance on the books, if there was a termination down the road that Organogenesis did not agree with, there would be additional protections to avoid that termination by way of challenging a subsequent ordinance that might be amended that relates back and terminates the agreement.
We're getting off track.
We are, I agree.
It's only to schedule a public hearing. All this conversation will happen at the public hearing.
Understood.
So we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor? Aye. Nays?
No.
Ayes have it. Conduct a public hearing to discuss, act upon approving a new Class B particular beverage license to Gambarin Brothers Incorporated, DBA Napolitano's Lounge and Brooklyn Pizza, 375 Putnam Pike, Unit 35, with the hours of operation and Monday through Sunday, 6 a.m. to 1 a.m., as applied and subject to compliance with all state regulations, local ordinances, final approval from the Department of Health. I declare the public hearing open. Anyone have any comments? Lynn, everything in order?
Yes.
I'll close the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve a new Class B victual beverage license for Camborian Brothers doing business as Napolitano's Lounge and Brooklyn Pizzeria.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item E, conduct a public hearing to consider and discuss act upon approving a transfer B particular license to El Taco Loco LLC, DBA Don Alberto Tequila, located at 55 Douglas Pike, Suite 105, to Gray Matter LLC, DBA Downstairs, same location, included outdoor seating bar and hours of operation Monday to Sunday, 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. and applied, subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances, retail sales permit, certificate of good standing, and Rhode Island Division of Taxation, building zoning department approval and outdoor seating plan, and final approval by the Rhode Island Department of Health. I declare the public hearing open. Anyone like to speak? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays, ayes have it. Item F, schedule a public hearing on March 18th for the submission of the Town of Smithfield's 2024 annual RIP DES Stormwater Report to Rhode Island DEM. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to schedule the public hearing for March 18th.
I have a
Second.
second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nays, ayes have it. Item 9, consider, discuss, and act upon approving the victual license for Cambora Brothers, DBA Napolitano's Lounge and Brooklyn Pizza, located at 375 Unit 35, as applied and subject to compliance with all state regulations, local ordinances, and final approval from Rhode Island DEM Department of Health.
So moved.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item B, consider, discuss, act upon approving a new entertainment license for Cambora Brothers and DBA Napolitano's Lounge and Brooklyn Pizza, located at 375 Putnam Pike, Unit 35, as applied, subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays, ayes have it. Item C, consider, discuss, and act upon approving a new special dance license for Cambora Brothers Incorporated, Napolitano's Lounge, and Brooklyn Pizzeria, located at 375 Putnam Pike, Unit 35, as applied, subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Any, I have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item D, discuss the act upon approving a new particular license to Gray Matter LLC, Downstairs, 55 Douglas Pike, Suite 105, as applied, subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances, retail sales permit, and final approval from the Rhode Island Department of Health.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item E, consider, discuss, and act upon approving a new entertainment license for Gray Matter LLC, Downstairs, located at 55 Douglas Pike, Suite 105, as applied, subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances. I'll entertain a
So
motion.
moved.
Have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Ayes, ayes have it. Item F, consider, discuss, and act upon approving new special dance license for Gray Matter LLC, DBA Downstairs, located at 55 Douglas Pike, Suite 105, as applied and subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item G, consider, discuss, and act upon approving a new pool table license for Gray Matter LLC, DBA Downstairs, 55 Douglas Pike, 105, as applied, subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item H, consider, discuss, and act upon approving renewal of 3 mobile food truck licenses as listed as applied, subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances. Baby Doug, Bo Wave, and Rhode Island Connor. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the renewal of 3 mobile food truck licenses for Taco Fied, Boba Wave, and Rhode Island Kona Ice.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. New business, no old business, new business. Consider, discuss, act upon authorizing the police department to purchase through the Rhode Island Master Price Agreement number 563, one fully equipped police vehicle with Colonial Municipal Group of Plymouth, Massachusetts, in the amount of $49,932.70, funded through the Smithfield Capital Lease Program. Deputy,
Good evening. Deputy Chief Michael Smith with the Police Department. Here tonight to request from the council authorization to purchase one fully equipped police cruiser from the Colonial Municipal Group out of Plymouth, Mass, in the amount of $49,932.70, again, through the State of Rhode Island Master Price Agreement contract bid. And that would be financed through the Town of Smithfield Capital Lease Fund with funds that are available in the Police Equipment Fund.
any questions of Deputy?
I have a question. Is a vehicle retiring with this purchase, or is this just an addition?
So unfortunately, a vehicle was retired in December from a motor vehicle accident.
Okay.
So this is replacing that 2022 Cruiser that was totaled by the interlocal trust based on that accident in December.
How did that accident occur?
One motor vehicle accident, hydroplane, it was one of those severe rainstorms, vehicle hydroplaned and hit a Jersey barrier.
Oh, it was a single car
Yeah,
accident with the
police cruiser.
officer?
Yes, 2
Oh.
officers were in the cruiser.
Oh, dear, okay.
Were they involved in a chase or anything, or
No,
was this just an
just
ordinary
terrible.
occurrence? Yeah.
Conditions on the road with flooding.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays, ayes have it. Item B, consider, discuss, or act upon authorizing a resolution to finance the purchase of one police vehicle through the Smithfield Capital Lease Fund.
Thank you again, Deputy Chief Smith. Just requesting the authorization from the council to pass a resolution authorizing the financing of the purchasing of this vehicle.
Any discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it.
Thank you very much. Again,
Thank
the
you,
police
Deputy.
department appreciates the support of the council again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item C, consider, discuss, act upon authorizing the school committee to ride Stage 1 and Stage 2 project on behalf of the school department. Anyone from the school department?
Richard Gianatelli, 99 Dean Avenue. You should have I guess, a listing of a committee there. A building committee is required by the state of Rhode Island anytime there's capital funds and there's going to be reimbursement from the state. The committee that you see there has the minimum number of people. They have different slots you have to have people in. It has that, and that's basically what it is. And this will go in with the Phase 1 plan. Phase 1 plan's already been submitted, but this will be added to it. So they know it's coming.
I'm sorry, Richard, can you just repeat what you said in the beginning about the reimbursement? I had a hard time hearing.
Anytime reimbursement is required or is allowed through the state of Rhode Island, they require a building committee to be set up to oversee the projects.
Okay.
We had one for the Boyle project, we had one for the elementary project.
No, yeah, I just didn't hear you. Thank
Okay,
you.
I'm sorry.
Any other questions? Councilwoman Toppy?
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion that I guess this has to be 2 motions, one the creation of, and then the members. Is that correct, Solicitor Golum?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. So motion that the Smithfield Town Council establish a school building committee for the RIDE Stage 1 and 2 project.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it.
And so the second motion, I would move that the Smithfield Town Council Actually, before I say that, I do think it's a good idea and smart to put two members of the community who are industry professionals on this committee. I did notice, though, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I do feel it would be advantageous to have the town manager on there as well, and if it's the pleasure of the council to put a town council member on there to be determined at a later time. I know that the Boyle Committee had past President Lawton and the town manager, so before I make the motion, I don't know if anyone would like to have it about the town council member before I amend.
I think the practice is typically a council member is on there,
Yeah.
correct? Is from what I understand. So I think that makes sense to include the town manager as well as a council member.
Any other discussion?
And I'm happy to do it if nobody wants to. That's fine.
You're on it.
All right.
So I would move that the Smithfield Town Council appoint all the members listed on the attached document to serve on the Smithfield School Building Committee with the addition of the interim town manager, and then whoever is the town manager, and also a town council member to be determined.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Richard. My paperwork. Consider discussing the act upon authorizing the purchase of one digital vehicle repeater radio system and Motorola Solutions in the amount of $19,893.71 to be funded by the Two-Way Radio Communications Ordinance Fund.
I'll put my fire chief's hat on for a minute there.
Well, you need to go down there.
So if you recall, a couple of years ago, we we had an ordinance, two-way communications ordinance, and we gave the option to businesses to either put a bidirectional amplifier for radio communications in their building or pay into this fund, which is significantly less than putting a bidirectional amplifier in. So we do have money in these funds now, and this is the repeater system we came up with. Essentially, what we're doing is putting a repeater system for communications on our fire apparatus. This is going to be the test unit, which we're not expecting any problems. We want to try one out first. And the expense is coming, right now, we have $90,000 in that fund. So the expense is coming from that fund, and as it grows, we continue to outfit our vehicles.
Any questions of the chief? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Public comment? Anyone from the public? Hearing none, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it.
Thank you.